Hi there, welcome to Polkdot Wyckoff Technical Analysis. If you're new to my sessions, here are the 3 key takeaways you can expect from this session. So let's begin with the weekly chart of Polkdot. Here, we are seeing a period of spring that happened for 4 to 5 weeks already. Last week was the most determining week when you look at the volume bar. There was a lot of buying from the lower or deeper support level of 2.28. That's a level that we haven't seen since 2020. Alright, all these white dashed lines, we borrowed from the levels that we checked at the lower time frame from that particular week or weeks in 2020 summer. Good news is, for the past 4 weeks, the price has been staying above this $3 support line. Even though last week, maybe the final shakeout, which I hope it is. So this question mark, I hope I can remove it. Very tempted, but let's keep it there for now, just in case the whales are going to shake us one more time. The test, we have gone through multiple weeks already, so I would say, based on what I'm seeing, this chance may be lower as of this moment, which this chance going up to show us a sign of strength gets higher now. Last time, when the price pumped from June to eventually mid-July and then subsequently in mid-September, both tested the 4.3 key level. It went above at one point during mid-September to this middle resistance around about 4.8. That's where the dip at the initial preliminary support was, or actually the selling climax closes. Alright, before we get to the automatic rally. So this time, if it really comes off from the spring, I hope it shows us a sign of strength at around the 5.2 orange key level, much like what it did back in mid-May, because that's an entry point towards the next distribution cycle before Polkdot can enter the preliminary supply level. Alright, so if we want to see something like what happened back in November 2024, exactly 1 year ago, to challenge the 10.3 purple key level, let's hope the sign of strength to show up in the next week or two, basically within or by year end, let's put it this way. Give it a little bit of time, because I'm guessing the whales are pumping different altcoins one or two at a time at the moment, based on the charts that different altcoins are at different stages. So the situation is pretty tricky. So it's something not across the board. Okay, now let's get to the daily chart, and there we see some interesting detail. So, this blue box, we have talked about it already. Assuming we're going through an uptrend, that Polkdot, is trying to break above the white line, which it's got suppressed over the past 5 days, including today. Alright, this white line is the bottom edge of the long-term playground zone. So, meaning 70-80% of the time, if I go back to the weekly chart, during the lifetime, 5 year or getting into 6 year now, of Polkdot, 70 to 80% of the time, Polkdot has been trading within this range or this zone. Okay, and it is a critical moment that it breaks back above into this zone, because the period we have just gone through after October 10th, or even during that short period in late June, early August, just this year, was pretty shocking for a lot of people, because it went to a point that we haven't seen in 5 years, like I said in multiple sessions already. So now we're getting to a point where this bottom edge of the channel is going to cross this particular bottom of the long-term playground zone. So the date is pointing to is coming Friday. So if the price continues to trade finding support from this uptrend support line, eventually it will get trapped into this triangle. And the only way is for the big guys to tell us which direction they are trying to go this time. Okay? We have not only two lines governing this. When we look at what happened on Saturday, November 8th, the price got rejected right at that declining peak trend line that I've drawn many sessions back. Look at what happened over here. Alright, so this line is still in effect. I am pretty surprised actually, because from the upthrust, then the LPSY, these two back in mid-September and early October, the rebound or rejection on November 8th, just the past Saturday, actually came from that point. So essentially, this time when the breakout happened, it is going to break both lines. The white line over here, the solid line, as well as this line. This is a dual resistance over here now. That's why over the past 4 days, we see rejection from around those levels. And I hope in the next 2 days, when this breakout finally happens, though there's a chance that it doesn't happen, but let's hope for it to happen, then this is where it's going to get very interesting. That's when the chance of challenging the purple key level and the red finally can happen again after early October. And I hope to see it challenge this 5.2 level, much like what it did back in May. So half a year now. It's probably time. Alright? It's kind of disappointing or boring to see it lingering at the very bottom, right? And like, it's going to get people really frustrated and testing the patience and also how strong is your diamond hand, right? So let's hope this is really the end of the low and that we are getting this not only sign of strength, but this horizontal period is a backup and last point of support before the actual climb happens. Alright, so the daily chart and the weekly chart are both showing signs that a bounce is probably near. And the very first trigger, like in the athletics meet or like in the Olympic Games, that starter gun is probably going to sound in the next 2 days or 3 days. Alright, so a very quick summary for Polkdot. Thanks for joining me and thanks for your support as always.